Hi guys, in this tutorial we're going to go over modifying lines using our two different cursors over here, as well as changing the color and filling in with some fill. So let's start a new file, Control N. I have this one set up from before, so just 32 inches wide and 20 inches high. Hit OK. And we got our new blank canvas here. So let's go up to the pen tool. Let's turn off the fill for now, using this none. And let's make this color maybe just a bright green. So if we go to our canvas now, if we click, and we can hold Shift to make a straight line. Hit V to exit out. Now that line looks a little thin, so what we'll do is bring up the stroke value, get it a little bit wider. There we go. So now let's copy and paste it. Bring it up. So let's say we wanted to add a little kink to this line. What we would do is select it, come back to our pen tool or hit P, and let's put a little kink in the middle. So all we have to do is click on the path, and it'll say path, and just click on that line. Now, if we go up to our cursors here, the selection tool is V. This is mainly for moving and dragging or transforming. And our other one, which would the hotkey would be A, is our directional selection tool. Now what this tool is, we can select our path. Now we're set up with these control points. Here, where we just added one, and at the end. Now the helpful thing about this tool is we can select our path, select our control point. Now we can click and drag and modify our line. Another cool thing is, if we look at this little circle here, we can add a fillet. So if we click and drag this down, we're able to smooth out that curve. Now for our next little line, what we'll do is add an arch to it. So if we click with our pen tool, hold Shift, and then click and hold, and we're going to end up with dragging this bar across any direction we want to make a nice curve here. Now let's do that exercise again, but adding more control points. This still only has two. So let's hit P again, and click on our arrow. Let's hold and drag, and then go to our endpoint and hold and drag again. Now we have a kind of a dually curved surface here, and we're end up with these handlebars here. Now these handlebars, if we were to hit A, we can select our control point. We're able to drag these around and modify the curve again. We can make it longer, more narrow, straight. If we hold Shift, it'll line it up straight against the paper. We can end up with some pretty wacky looking curves here. So now, let's move these to the center using our V, just our selection cursor. Now let's change the color on every single one of these. So let's first select this one, go up to our color guide here. Let's make this one somewhere near cyan. Let's make this one a magenta. Let's make this one a yellow. And now let's add a fill. So coming over here, let's just make this totally a fill. And an easy way to do this is just hitting this swap fill. All we do is hit the arrow, and that creates more of an object. Let's do it for the next one, but this time let's use a hotkey, which would be Shift X. Next one, Shift X. And this one, since it's a straight line, there is no fill. So it disappears. Okay, now let's work with fills and strokes. So for each one of these, having the stroke on top, let's just give it a black stroke. Now let's move our line weight up so we can see it. And let's change vary the opacities on each one of these. Let's just bring that one down to 30. Let's bring this one down to 50. And 75, around there. So let's just move these on top of each other. Now I can see the different opacities layered on top of each other. And again, similar to Photoshop, we're able to add blending modes to these. A few different and less modes, but still the same blending modes. So let's just make it soft whites, so everything kind of blends. Now, let's try to change all of the line weights. Let's just bring up the opacity again. Let's say we want to make a special line weight that tapers at the end, gets thicker in the middle, and thinner at the bottom. Illustrator already has presets for this. So, if we go up to our stroke command here, or even up to here, we're able to go from uniform to, say, a fatter line weight. See how it gets very thin? Still in vector. Or we can go to kind of a pointy one. And let's try one more. Let's say just fat in the middle. And now let's say we want to add arrows on each side of these. What we do now is just come up to stroke here, and we can click on arrowheads. Now they have a different variety of arrowheads here. Let's say we wanted a circle on one end at the front and an arrow on the end. Now we want to make these a little bit smaller, so what we can do is bring it down to 50 or modify as needed. Now we have kind of an arrowhead here. Now these arrowheads will depend on sizing, dependent on the line weight. See how they grow? This will be helpful later on for plans and other drawings and diagrams that you'll have throughout your education here at IIT.